Good evening, good afternoon. Well, it is evening time because it's 3:24 p.m. So, good afternoon. I hope everyone is well. Today, I give thanks to the Father on today, and I also give thanks Toda Abba for to Toda to Abba, my Abba, for everything He is doing in my life and everything that He has done in my life. I give thanks on today. I'm sorry, the screen is like moving a lot. And so today I have a short message. It's not going to be long today. And I know why I'm bringing up one thing, but it's two things today. The other thing, I'm not sure why that has been brought up, um, but the two things I would like to speak about today is the product of destruction, and that's the one thing I know why I will be speaking about that today. But this video will be very short, and also um, product of destruction and abandonment issues. And the reason why I would like to speak about product of destruction is because, you know, sometimes we let, the devil work through witches, people that hold jealousy, people that hold, conversations about you, gossip about you and everything like that. Witches, and warlocks, as I always speak about. These are individuals that are products of destruction. And when you let these products of destruction, dysfunctional energies in when they come your way, because they're free to come your way. It's how you handle them. It's how you know what I mean? It's what you do. And you cannot help if they come towards you with the foolishness, with their foolery. However, you can, you have the right to ignore these people, ignore these individuals. Or if it gets out of hand, you know what I mean? You have the right to, call on the Father, pray to the Father, you know what I mean? And, He can help, get rid of, their energy, you know what I mean? Because you don't want their disgusting energy around you. It's going to be bad. And what I've been seeing with some is, you know what I mean? And I was thinking this to myself, earlier today, how the same thing used to happen to me where I would let these individuals, get to me, and I would bite back. I would, do a lot of things. You know what I mean? Say, a lot of things. And it was bad. You know what I mean? When you're doing good, you don't want to destroy that energy when you're doing good, because when the product of destruction, individual forces that is upon earth and that is within the spirit realm, What these energies basically do is they try to come in because their life, you know what I mean? They don't like themselves, they hate themselves. There's different many issues with them that's going on. They're not happy with themselves, they're not happy with their lives. Many issues that they have, you know what I mean? And so when you let them come in, when you let them come in and you serve the Most High, Yahweh, Yahuwah Elohim, Adonai, you're basically letting them let you, backtrack, fall into sin. You know what I mean? And this talks of it speaks about this in Proverbs as well. And I had the same problem too. You know what I mean? Before I my Abba Elohim, the Most High, Rastafari, um, saved me and cleansed me thoroughly and really, you know what I mean, and really turn my life around to the point where I don't fall, back into sin, Toda, to my Abba for that, but um these individuals like witches, warlocks, they try to come in, and what they do is, they bring you down with their energies, you know what I mean? They want you to be brought down with them, with their low vibration, and then you would have a low vibration as well. And then after that, they feel better, you know what I mean? Because that's what they wanted you to do. And when you start to feel bad with yourself, you're no longer praising God. You're no longer, making music for the Most High. You know what I mean? You're no longer, living in light. You're becoming dark like them. And they go on to live their lives. You know what I mean? They don't care. And so when you start caring and feeding into their garbage, you know what I mean? After that, they go on to living their lives. They're happy. You know what I mean? They're ignoring you after talking crap about you. And you feed it into their garbage, and then you biting back at them. Now your vibration is low energy, just like that, is of low energy, just like that. And what you want to do is you want to ignore these products of these destruction, and you want to go on to live your life. And because the thing is, you're blessed, and so when you're too blessed to be stressed, you know what I mean, you can easily just ignore these criminals. You know what I mean? These are criminals. You know what I mean? And so don't become a criminal like them. You know what I mean? It's not good. It's very, very bad energy, and that's what I've been seeing, and it's not good energy. Falling into sin and backtracking. You know what I mean? To men that you left behind. You know what I mean? The men that you've been left. And you do good, without, and maybe they need to be there for your child, yes, but in flirting around, you don't need to do that type of thing. And you know what I mean? And when these products of destruction, you know what I mean, in the type of individuals come around, you pray to the Most High and ask Him to protect you and to protect you and save you in the midst of adversity that they bring, the drama that they bring. Not you. You don't bring it. They are the ones that do. And so that's what you want to do. And that's all I just wanted to speak about pertaining to the product of destruction, and so forth. You know what I mean? And abandonment issues. You know, a lot of people have that type of thing, that issue where they have abandonment issues. They go to, the wrong partners, the wrong type of friends, the wrong people. You know what I mean? They need, you know what I mean, a crowd maybe. Um, they need, men, to love them. You know what I mean? But the man doesn't love them. I've watched this. I've seen this episode on Karamo, and he had these two young women. They're best friends, and it's a good thing that they're both still best friends. And basically, she was speaking about how her mom passed away. Um, Her father is still alive, but they don't have a relationship like that, so they don't deal with each other like that. And so she's out in the world alone and everything like that. And she has this boyfriend, and this boyfriend, you know what I mean, he couldn't be on the show, there on the show, because he got arrested and everything like that. And so he had to be home because he had the ankle monitor, so he couldn't go, you know what I mean, and he couldn't travel, you know um to the show. Or it's either he had the ankle monitor on and he couldn't travel, or he just got arrested, and so he couldn't, he can't really travel, you know what I mean. And basically what he's doing is just sleeping, or hanging around with all her friends, sleeping with her friends, you know what I mean, having an affair with all of her friends, drinking a lot with her best friend. And she was speaking about how she didn't really have anybody in the world, so she looked to men, you know what I mean, to love her, you know what I mean. And not every man is going to, men, you can't teach a man to love you. They have to learn how to love you, themselves. And so basically what happened was, she was like, not really feeling her best friend, and her best friend wasn't really feeling her because of the situation of them, always constantly being together, partying, texting, calling each other, and drinking. And on top of that, him sleeping with all of her other friends. And that's abandonment issue, and her still trying to stick up and fight up against other females, her being still being friends with these females that he did sleep with, and her not wanting to be best friends. Well, she said that it wasn't really they wasn't really friends like that still, but they still would talk on FaceTime with these friends that slept with her boyfriend. And so she didn't want to basically want to be friends with her best friend either. And so the reason why they was there on the show, her and her best friend was on the show, is because she wanted to see, if he was sleeping with her best friend. You know what I mean now? And all of this stems down to abandonment issues. You know what I mean? And we have to, at some point in time, grow out of that. We need to become adults, you know what I mean? Thankfully, you know, the best friend, she never slept with the, you know, her boyfriend, and they was just drinking and hanging out, and basically, you know, Karama was just saying that, you know, and he's having you drink a lot, and it's not healthy to drink a whole lot, and so he doesn't even care about you either, you know what I mean, basically. And he does saying, telling her best friend that he doesn't even care about your best friend, and he don't even care about you either, and you know that he's not a good man on top of that. But you know what I mean, you claim that, you know, he loves her, so you know what I mean, you was fine with him. And so basically, as her best friend, you know, so now you know he doesn't love her because he did all these things. And so and plus he's having you, you know what I mean, hang around him a lot, and drink, you know, with him a whole lot. And so now how do you feel about him? You know, does he still love her? You know what I mean? You think he still loves her? And she's like, no. And so, you know, they still continue to be friends. You know, that's a blessing. That's good. You know what I mean? And so, but basically, all of that stems down to, like I said, abandonment issue. And so, what you want to do is you want to try to adopt. I mean, you know, it's hard. You know what I mean, and it really is hard to adult. You know what I mean, to be, you know, having to be by yourself, and adulting, and everything like that. But you must, because you have to take care of you. You have to take care of your life. You know what I mean? And it's sad. Actually, both of the things, you know, the product of destruction, and the situation, you know what I mean, that is going on. I'm not going to say, you know, names. You know what I mean? That's go a crazy, you know, situation. And then, you know, you have people with abandonment issues. It's really deep. But you must, you know what I mean, you must stay away from these people, the product of destruction. And you must, you know, try not, you know, you must try to outgrow, you know, the abandonment issue, because at the end of the day, having abandonment issues is not going to matter. Because at the end of the day, we have to adult, we have to grow up, we have to, you know, work, we got to go to work, we have to, you know, if we're into that type of thing, school, you know what I mean, school, work, you know what I mean, we have to figure out what works for us in life pertaining to, you know, rent, and you know, our paychecks, and all of these things, you know, looking into budgeting and stuff like that, learning about life. And you focusing on, you know, abandonment issues is not going to teach you, you know, about life. You're not going to grow in life. You're not going to learn lessons here, there, you know what I mean? And plus, if you keep trying to be with, you know, the wrong crowd, and the wrong boyfriend, and who's just, you know, he's just getting into trouble, drinking a whole lot, you know what I mean, not really doing nothing, you know, with himself and his life anyway. And so it's not about being independent woman. It's about, you know, just growth and just life. Because a lot of people that say that they're independent individuals, they're disgusting individuals anyway, so I wouldn't really listen to them. But however, it's not about being an independent woman. It's about, you know, growing up. And then, you know, after that, who knows, maybe, you know what I mean, it's good to know God, because God can send you, you know, like a kingdom spouse, you know, a kingdom marriage, you know, something that's more proper, you know what I mean, rather than, you picking a spouse for yourself, because we don't really pick the correct spouses ourselves. When God picks, you know, your spouse for you, it's, you know, it's the right type of spouse, it's the right type of man, it's the right type of woman, that you would want in your life. And so, you know, but before that, grow first. Go through life, go through life's challenges, figure things out, you know what I mean? Get to know God, have Him, you know, come in your life and have Him go through life with you, you know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing, you know what I mean? And we're all figuring out, you know, life's journey. Life is a journey, and we're all figuring out life's journey within our life's journeys. Okay, and that's what I wanted to speak about. Um, that's basically it. What I wanted to speak about. There's, you know, nothing else. So please stay away from the products of destruction. And if you fell, you know, into sin, which it happens, please, please, please repent and get back to the Father. Get back with the Father. Nobody is perfect. Get back with the Father, and hold your peace and hold your place once again. You know what I mean? It's okay to slip. It's okay to mess up. We're not perfect. We're human. Just repent and try again, and don't let the product of destructional individuals self um, win the battle of Jericho, or and get you at a low point. Get you at a low point. Don't let them do that to you. You know? And so, yes, and also, you know, pertaining to, you know, relationship and abandonment issues, you know, and everything like that. Live and learn and grow. And if, you know, and get to know Abba, get to know, you know, the Most High, Yahweh, Rastafari, and then He won't lead you astray. And then, you know, He's a great teacher as well. And so He could teach you things, you could get taught, you know, life would teach you things as well as you go and as you grow and mature. And then who knows, maybe He could send you, you know, that spouse. But, you know, first, don't really focus on that. Focus on you. Focus on, you know, your growth, your elevation, you know what I mean? And you know, everything like that, you know. Going through life's journey. Okay? So that's all I wanted to bring up today. I haven't been on, and so I am sending a message out today because I heard, you know, speak about to do a video today to put out a message today, and I'm like, what should I speak about? And the product of destruction was a perfect thing to speak about. And also abandonment issues as well. It's always a good thing to speak about. So much love, blessed love to everybody. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your evening today, because it is almost evening today. And I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is doing okay. I hope everyone is eating good, living okay, trying to keep yourself above water, which we are all trying to do. We're all trying to keep ourselves above water, and have a marvelous, wonderful, blessed rest of your evening. All right? Keep the faith alive. Don't let it die. Keep the faith alive. Don't let it die. And blessed love Adonai Elohim Yahuwah, the Most High, Rastafari, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Bless you, bless you, bless you once again. Toda. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. Blessed Jah Rastafari. Haile Selassie. The first Empress Menen is the balance. Yahuwah. Line of Judah. Bless.